Hi guys, in this video I will talk about programming, so let's get started. Before moving forward, one thing keeps in your mind: what we will do with the computer. We store the data in the computer and we compute the data with the computer. Computer can do only two things: storing the data and compute the data. That's it. So now there is a city, suppose, and its name is Mathophobia. Mathophobia is a city where people are scared from maths for computing the data. So that's why people discovered a solution, computer building. Whenever anybody needs a calculation work, what they do, they go to the computer building for the calculation work. In real life also, whenever somebody asks a question like what is the result of 8 into 9, you remains quiet for some time, then after that you give the answer. So our brain is not like a computer for like you can store the information and compute the data like in the computer. Our brain is more focused on problem solving and thinking process. So now let's go forward. There are two main character in this story. First is Ravi and second is Tarun. They both are friend and they got a job recently. Now what happened that Ravi going to the Tarun's house for the casual meeting. He reached the Tarun's house and entered his living room, and when he entered, Ravi's entered, one word comes in his mind: wow, what a beautiful house. So after that, they do meeting and talking and drinking tea and see TV. And after all the work is finished, he was returning to his room. While he returning, he thought he also wants to make a good design house like Tarun's house, and that's why he decided to go to the market where he purchased a good quality marbles for building his house. The salary of Ravi is not so high, so that's why he has to make a budget. You know what is the budget? So he interested to know what will be the cost if he purchased the marble. So there is a rupees 10 per unit, as you can see, and 1 foot equal to 1 foot. So the room of Ravi is 14 foot length and 8 foot breadth. Now how many marble he need? 14 into 8, 112. So what will be the cost? So 14 into 8 into 10, 1120. So 14 into 8 is a big calculation, as you can see, and that's why he decided to uh, go to the computer building for this type of computation to know what will be the cost he if he purchased the marbles. Now he reached the computer building. What he do, I will explain you. First, what he do, 14 into 8 into 10, it you can also write like that: 14 plus 14 plus 14, 80 times. You will get answer. So computer do only addition. He computer never do multiplication, divide, minus. For example, for minus CPU computer do 6 plus bracket minus 3. For storing the negative number, computer we use a 2's complement. Now Ravi visualized the computation process in his mind. So there are two input. First is 14 and the second input is also 14. So when you do addition 14 plus 14, you will get 28. So after that, he modify the first input by the output like that. So similarly, then 28 plus 14 is you will get 42. Like that, he do loop 80 times. So now this is the task he want to do with the computer. First step is memory required. How Ravi decide how much memory will required? So as you can see in the screen, 14 in binary this, 15 in binary this. So the maximum, the more ideal memory requirement is uh, as you can see, 1120 needs a 11 bits to store 11-bit memory. So for input, output, and for two input and one output, the memory requirement is 33. So in the RAM, you can see each row has a 12-bit. So he asking for a 36-bit memory reserve. He give the instruction for memory requirement, then CPU reserved the 36-bit. Why I said the 33-bit, you will understand after a few seconds. Now Ravi give the second instruction, put value, put data on the memory. So CPU store the information in binary. Now he give the third instruction, computing the data. So when he press the button run, what happened that 14 comes in the first register. Similarly, the copy of 14 is comes in the second register. Then what will be the output? 28. So now what happened that 28, CPU store 28 in the replace of 14 in the first input register. Now I am explain you why I modify it. You can store 28 in another memory address, but it required a additional memory. Why I modify it? Because there is a no use of 14 which is stored in the first input register. So it lying ideal, and so it's better to modify it a usable things like a 28. So our main objective is to make a program which run in a less memory. That's why I said the ideal memory requirement in this scenario is 33-bit for computing the 14 into 8 into 10. Now let's go forward. So now it modify by 28 and store 28. Now the second times it run, so 28 comes in the first input stream, and similarly the copy of 14 is comes in the second stream. The output will be the 42. So like that you do 80 times loops, then finally you got the result 1120. I hope you understand how the computer got result. Then after that CPU save this output in the third output register, like that. Finally you got the result. As you can see that there are lots of things you have to carefully observe when you writing the binary file. That's why people discovered a very easy language like C. It is a converter which convert the our C files into a binary file. So now for you have to learn only C language, then under the hood CPU automatically do all of the things. So for example, this same computation works if you want to do with the C converter. uh, you just need a first you need a memory requirement. So for storing any positive or any negative number, we have a data structure int. Now you give the instruction of memory requirement. For memory required, you just type a data structure name and you make a variable. Then after that you initialize the data, put the storing the data on. Then you write the computing instruction in a few line. Similarly, there are lots of other converter you will find in the market like C++, Java, Python, R. There are hundreds of language you can find. All the language, the purpose of all the language is to convert in a binary file. CPU only understand the binary language. Thank you.